Banana slam jam.
Welcome back, everybody. We got ourselves a gameplay update 7.28c where I will be talking about all the changes and what I also believe is the reason behind them, and briefly talking about all the heroes involved. So here we go. We got 7.828c. We got Sticky Napalm now deals 50% less damage against all creeps. So basically, they said Bat Rider, this is now reverted back to the old Bat Rider. I guess he's just strictly terrible now. I have to believe this hero's hot garbage, as his Sticky Napalm in the past was 6 damage, or 10 damage level 1 to heroes, which made it 5 damage to creeps, and now it just sucks. So I'm pretty sure Bat Rider's actually just not a hero anymore. He was definitely broken in the sense that he farmed too fast. I feel like they could have made it jungle creeps. I think if they wanted to make it 50% less damage to jungle creeps or neutral creeps, that would have been a better nerf. But now not only is he nerfed in terms of farming, but his laning stage is dog shit. So effectively last patch at the beginning of 7.28, they gave him the full damage of sticky to creeps. But then they nerfed his lasso cooldown by like 30 seconds. And they also nerfed level 1 sticky pretty hard in terms of turn rate slow as well as the damage. So now they've just reverted the one thing they gave him and then left everything else. So Bat Rider, I'm pretty sure, is dog shit. Like, actually dog shit. I'm pretty sure you can't lane this hero anymore. I don't think this hero has a purpose in the meta. He's actually just terrible. Beastmaster, so I think this is a way over nerf. Beastmaster, base attack speed reduced by 10. Call of the Wild Boar movement speed reduced. Okay. That's pretty relevant because most heroes with boots are somewhere between 320 and 350 movement speed. So if you now buy boots or you're just a fast safe laner, you can track down the boar. I actually had no idea it was that fast as level 1. Beastmaster is one of the most broken offlaners right now. He just buys Necrobook, and the Necrobooks shred people, and he just represents this Doom type hero where once he gets 6, you just can't lane. So nerfing his laning stage is fine with me. If he ever gets a decent start, this hero crushes, but if I ever see him losing competitive or in pubs, it's because he has a bad start. So what they're doing is making it more possible for him to have a bad start. It's easier to give him a bad start, so I like that I like the way they've nerfed him, because eventually he becomes the same hero. Earthshaker, Fissure Shard Aftershock Replication, now stuns for half duration. So, still a stun, but you're not fucking perma-stunning people from a bajillion range. Will it still be purchased? Yes. Will it still be broken? It'll still be probably good. Earthshaker's definitely not nearly as broken now as he was before. The Ag Shard for Earthshaker was beyond fucking busted. If you've missed competitive Dota, he's basically getting first rounded by every single team because of the Shard. He's even getting played 5 positions sometimes because you don't even need a blink. You just go Shard. So I think the item's still good because of the free pathing as well as the stun from distance, but it's definitely not nearly as good as it was before. Recall delay increased from 3 to 543. Yeah, in competitive Dota, Keeper of the Light was broken because of recall. Like, all of his other kit, it's like, yeah, normal stuff, but you were just able to move around the map way too quickly. And now, early game, you just have a little bit more time to respond, as well as, obviously, it just takes a bit longer to get them there from their perspective. So, making the movements around the map a bit slower. I don't know if this is enough of a nerf, but it's good. Lycan Summon Wolves duration reduced by 5 seconds. I honestly think Lycan was already on the verge of being pretty bad, so, like, he's not bad. He's like a gotcha hero. He's like the Broodmother of the patch. I feel like there's usually 1 or 2 carries or offlaners that are like the perfect 8th picks in competitive, where it's the team that first picked, and you're never going to get this hero absolute last pick, but you'll get it there. Lycan's kind of that hero right now. Some patches it's like Terrorblade, PL. Lycan is kind of that hero where it's like they have no way to deal with Lycan, pick Lycan, win game. Otherwise, the hero kind of sucks. And so I don't know. I don't really think he needed to be nerfed again. Morphling, morph cooldown rescaled from that to that. So better early, worse late. Pretty significant nerf, I think. because late game your morph duration's approximately 40 seconds. With the talent, it's like 36 seconds. So now your downtime on your ultimate went from virtually nothing to 25 seconds. So that's pretty significant nerf, all things considered. Morph Scepter bonus cast range reduced by 300. Morph Scepter now also reduces morph cooldown by 20 seconds. So they nerfed his ability, and then they gave it back to him in terms of the nerf, but then they nerfed the Scepter. I don't think Morph was broken, man. If you're gonna do this to him, I think you just need to nerf other parts, or like buff other parts of him. I don't know, man. That's a little weird, champ, to me. I know he's been seen in competitive. Maybe Morph Shaker. Like, I think he was broken because Shaker was broken, so then you could pick Shaker first round and then pick Morph later. I think this was like broken by proxy rather than broken just because he's broken. I don't know. Don't really like this change. Nature's Prophet, Greater Trance, base attack time from 1.0 to 1.4. That means they attack significantly slower, approximately 40% slower. Maybe it's exactly 40% slower. But yeah, so that's okay. That makes sense. Nyx Assassin no longer... Vendetta no longer applies break, and Vendetta cooldown increased at level 2 and 3. Yeah, this spell just did way too much. Remember when it just did damage? Then they gave it a break. Then they gave it more damage. Then they made it pure damage. Yeah. The ability just did way too much. And I think there's too many heroes that you would want to pick against Nyx in terms of conceptual play, like these Tidehunters, these Underlords that like stand in front and make it hard for Nyx to enter the fights. And then all those heroes just died because they got broke. Like, they just die. So now Nyx has way more conceptual counters than he did before, such as the Bristlebacks, the Tides, the Underlords, heroes that he no longer wants to go on. That just makes it so he doesn't destroy literally every hero in the game, which is nice. So we probably won't be seeing him first rounded anymore, at least not very much in competitive, and probably see him a lot less in pubs. OD. Movement speed reduced by 5, base armor reduced by 1. Okay. Arcane Orb cooldown increased it back to what it was. Astral Imprisonment mana cost increased. I'll just be straight with you guys. I haven't seen this hero win in any other region than NA, so I'm not saying that's bashing NA. I just don't think the hero's generally broken. I see it have distinct weaknesses, and the only strength it had was a ridiculous laning stage, and they just took that away, so... Maybe this hero's just back to dog shit. Not really sure. I thought he was, like, okay. Puck, base damage reduced by an average of 2. No, 1.5. An average of 1.5 base damage. Okay. Waiting Rift damage reduced at max level. Okay, that's pretty significant in regards to nuking creep waves, I would imagine. Dream Coil Scepter stun duration reduced by half a second at max level. Okay, these little things will add up for Puck. Been nerfed across like all 7.28 patches, so probably still a good hero, but laning stage slightly nerfed now. Burst damage in the mid game slightly nerfed. Probably looking at more of like a third, fourth pick in competitive, maybe like a second round. Get rid of this hero; it's so fucking annoying. It'll be around. The problem with heroes like Puck is they literally decided the meta. Heroes like Lion became popular just because Puck existed. So I don't mind that there's like some really broken heroes in the meta, but I think this patch is actually going to change so much. I think Puck's stock went down the least out of all the broken heroes, but still like nerfed pretty noticeably just across the board. Nyx, same with like I think the biggest one's Batrider. I think this hero is completely dead. And the reason why I mention these heroes is because Puck counters any mobility carry. Nyx counters any hero that has a tanky passive, and Batrider counters any hero that can't remove sticky and just kind of dies to your Firefly in the mid game. So a lot of these heroes are like anti-heroes. Like these 3 heroes, they remove like half the hero pool from wanting to be picked because they're in the game. So I want you guys to understand that at least in competitive and high tier pubs, the implications of these 3 heroes getting nerfed the way they are Like, I'd say least of all Puck, most Batrider, second most Nyx, then third most Puck is going to drastically shift who's popular in the meta, I think. Heroes like Monkey King, who we're already seeing a bit of play, who are hard countered by Batrider, we may be seeing this shit like first rounded because Batrider's just in the dump now. That's just an example I would give. Ricky, Tricks of the Trade Scepter no longer increases duration. I honestly don't think Ricky was very good. I'll say it. I'll say it. I'm sure you 1K players who don't know how to buy dust, you were probably upset about this hero. You also don't know how to push towers appropriately. But at the highest tier, the last like 5 or 10 times I played this hero, it felt really underwhelming. It feels like you're always on the back foot because your hero applies no tower pressure at all and no farming efficiency until you get Battle Fury Ags, and that's a lot of gold to get on a hero. And I struggled to win. I watched it in competitive. It felt like it always fell behind and always lost map control, and this hero never won. So suddenly you're going for this timing that doesn't exist anymore. That's ass, dude. That's fucking ass. I think this hero sucks now. I mean, I thought he was already like a 3 or 4 out of 10. Now he's like a 2. Talents. Oh my god, this hero just got dumpstered. I mean, the hero was a gimmick. Like, the Battle Fury Ag shit was a gimmick. And they just completely removed the gimmick. So if this hero gets picked, it's because people go back to, like, Diffusal Manta Ricky rather than Battle Fury Ags. They just completely removed the Ags component of this hero being, like, a viable thing. Shadow Shaman, Shackle Shard, cast range. Wait, did the Shard increase the cast range of Shackles? I didn't even fucking know that. Okay. Base damage reduced by 2. Dude, Void Spirit was top 3 or 4 heroes in the entire fucking patch, and this is what I get? This is what I get? This hero's beyond busted. He's literally... He wins like every fucking mid lane, other than maybe Monkey King, in which case he survives. That's crazy. They had to address his laning stage. That was definitely the problem. Base damage by 2, definitely not enough. I think he had to like nerf his early game mana costs. I think that was like the way to do it. Like make his shield level 1 a bit more mana. Similar to what they did to Death Prophet like 5 or 6 patches ago, where they made her Spirit Siphon more mana. It's like the hero still has the same laning presence, but they have to buy more regen or be more conservative with their spells. So I don't think this is enough. I think we'll still see a lot of Void Spirit. Wraith King, Wraithfire Blast cooldown increased at lowest levels. Pretty significant just because you usually leave this at 1 point until level 13. So that's kind of significant. Affects you for a large portion of the mid game. Vampiric Spirit Skeletons base damage reduced by 3. I think they hit for 34. Maybe 37. Now they hit for 34. So it's relevant. I'd say overall it's pretty minimal. Obviously. I think Wraith King will still be strong. But he's one of the most popular meta carries right now. But these little nerfs add up. You know, they've nerfed his crit damage. Ever since 7.28, they nerfed his crit damage by 10%. They nerfed his Vampiric Spirit mana cost, as you see here. They nerfed the skeleton damage. They nerfed his reincarnation mana cost. Now they've nerfed Wraithfire Blast cooldown at early levels. They've effectively nerfed every spell on the hero. It's like eventually he'll just be decent rather than being super meta. But I think for now, he'll still be pretty solid. With nerfs to heroes like Nyx, though, he might go down in value just because Nyx was pretty bad against Wraith King due to the fact that his laning stage was kind of weak and Wraith King could punish that. But also because obviously you don't really want to go on a Wraith King. I would say overall, it's pretty obvious all they did was nerf all the broken heroes, at least competitively speaking. I'm a bit surprised they did it 1 week before the DPC group stages ends or whatever. I think there's probably some important games next week that are now drastically shifted in terms of this. But I do like the changes in terms of the heroes they targeted, but I don't like all the changes they did. I think Batrider was a bit over-nerfed. I think Void Spirit was under-nerfed. I think like Wraith King was appropriately nerfed. Puck was appropriately nerfed. Don't think this hero had to be nerfed. I think this was bullshit too. I think the Earthshaker Ag Shard. Yep, I pretty much said it all. Moving forward, I think the main implications of this is that these heroes will either be completely dead like Batrider, or just not first pickable / spammable in every game like Earthshaker, such that heroes that were previously not viable because these heroes were seen every game will now start to become much more potent. So that's what I'm looking at. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed my patch review. Peace. If you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that shenanigans, because at the end of the day, YouTube does care about that. You may not care about it, I may not care about it, but the YouTube algorithm does. So please do.